You'll never look at your body the same way again after this. Thoth revealed millennia ago that the soul chooses its own body, and not by accident. Every detail about you, your hands, your voice, your gaze, is not a genetic fluke. They are vibrational keys that your soul chose even before you were born, to fulfill the mission that only you can carry out. And the first key is right here. Your body is not a mistake, nor a prison. It is a perfect instrument, created to balance everything your soul still needed to experience. But hold on, this is just the beginning, because your soul's decision wasn't made randomly. It was taken in a hidden place, outside of time, where the truth of your life was fully revealed. And it's exactly to that place that we're going now. Man is a great miracle, a mortal being who takes part in immortality, an earthly being that holds the seeds of heaven. Imagine, for a moment, that there's a place outside of time, a space where the past, present, and future aren't separated by calendars or clocks. There, everything happens at once. Every decision you've made, every choice you didn't make, every possibility still to come. Everything is visible, clear, transparent. This place is known in the teachings of Thoth as the Hall of the Two Truths. And it was exactly there that your journey began. But don't think of this hall as a physical space with walls and doors. It's a vibrational field, a heightened state of consciousness where the soul, free from the body, contemplates the totality of its existence. There's no judgment in this place, no guilt, no fear, only truth. A truth so clear that it's impossible to run from it. It's as if the soul is forced to look into the purest mirror of creation and see who it truly is, without masks, without excuses, without illusions. It was there that your soul saw everything it had already lived through in other journeys. It saw the talents it awakened, the virtues it cultivated, but it also saw the fears it hadn't faced, the gifts it left dormant, and the wounds it still needed to heal. Thoth said that this vision doesn't happen as punishment, but as an opportunity. The soul isn't forced to do anything. It observes, understands, and decides. It decides the next step. It decides the next body. And this is where something grand happens. In this state of absolute clarity, the soul chooses the body that will best help it balance everything it saw there. Not the most beautiful body, not the strongest, not the easiest, but the body that vibrates exactly at the frequency needed for it to live the experiences that were still missing for its vibrational balance. If in past lives the soul abused its physical strength, it may choose a more delicate body to learn about sensitivity. If in other incarnations it lived in comfort, it may choose a challenging setting to develop resilience. If it avoided emotional challenges, it may choose a more sensitive temperament to feel what it once avoided feeling. Every detail of the physical body and personality is shaped so that the soul can have exactly the lessons it needs now. Thoth called this vibrational adjustment. Like someone tuning an instrument before a major performance, the body is that instrument, and the soul needs it tuned, calibrated, ready to play the song that hasn't yet been played. That's why your body, exactly the way it is, carries the frequencies your soul needs to explore. No cell, no feature, no detail is there by chance. Your height, your bone structure, your voice, your eyes, your metabolism. Everything carries a specific vibrational signature. A signature that connects to past experiences and points toward future ones. But the choice doesn't stop at the body. Thoth said that the soul, in that vibrational hall, also contemplates the external circumstances that will surround its new journey. It sees the family environment where it will be born, the social challenges it will face, the people who will cross its path. because there's no point in having the right body if the environment doesn't offer the necessary challenges. Body and context vibrate together, and that's where the choice becomes even deeper. The soul knows that being born into a certain culture, era, or family won't be easy, but it doesn't choose the easiest path. It chooses the most necessary path. The soul doesn't seek comfort. It seeks vibrational growth. It knows that only through challenge, friction, and discomfort can consciousness expand. So when you look at your life and think everything was unfair, that your story was too hard, that you deserved a different reality, remember this: it was your soul that chose the exact setting where you'd have the best opportunities for evolution. Not out of punishment, but out of wisdom. But the hall of the two truths isn't a courtroom. It's a mirror. It doesn't punish, judge, or condemn. It reveals. It shows what's out of balance and offers the chance to correct it. The soul chooses to correct because it knows that, in the end, no one else can do that for it. And correction doesn't happen through blind suffering, but through awakened consciousness. That's why Thoth said the greatest gift of incarnation isn't the body itself, but the opportunity to use it consciously to balance what was once out of harmony. And here is the second key to this knowledge. Your body was chosen not just for its physical traits, but as a vibrational response to the causes and effects your soul accumulated before birth. Every physical challenge, every emotional trait, every apparent limitation was chosen as a means to restore the balance lost in other journeys. The inner portals that guard your mission. The energy of decision vibrates and begins to give shape to matter. And this is where Thoth reveals one of the most hidden keys of creation. Matter does not exist separate from vibration. It is organized by it, shaped by it. Every part of your body is the visible result of the frequency your soul was vibrating at when it chose to incarnate. Your body wasn't created as a generic mold, ready and the same as everyone else's. It was sculpted as a unique piece, where every feature carries meaning. The shape of your shoulders, the width of your chest, the length of your hands, the density of your bones, even the way your skin reacts to the touch of the outside world. All of it is a direct reflection of the vibration your soul was emanating at that moment of decision. And here's something few people know. Physical form is not just a genetic consequence, like we're taught to believe. Of course, genetics is the material medium that manifests the form, but the origin of the choice lies on another plane. Thoth said that genetics is merely the instrument vibration uses to manifest in the visible world. What determines which genetic code will be activated is not chance, but the frequency the soul brought with it as it entered the field of matter. That's why your body is not a limitation, as society so often tries to make you believe. It's not an obstacle. It's not a punishment. It is a vibrational code, like a language that needs to be decoded. A map that, when read correctly, reveals the potentials, challenges, and lessons your soul chose to explore in this life. Have you ever noticed how some people, even without trying, are naturally good at certain physical abilities? How some have naturally strong and resilient bodies, while others have lightness and flexibility? None of this is random. It's the soul choosing the best type of vehicle to accomplish what it came here to do. A soul that needs to learn stability might choose a robust body that requires patience and consistency. Another that needs to learn fluidity might opt for an agile body, one that encourages creativity but also challenges it to find balance. Even what you see as a weakness carries a purpose. If your body has limitations, those limitations are not mistakes. They are breaks that the soul chose so you wouldn't get distracted by paths that are too easy. They force you to develop internal abilities that don't rely on brute strength, but on the subtlety of spirit. And that's why Thoth said every part of the form carries a message. Your hands are not just physical tools. They are extensions of your vibrational field. Your eyes are not just light receptors, but windows of your consciousness. Your feet don't just touch the ground, they connect you to the Earth's vibratory field. Everything, absolutely everything, was designed to translate who you are in essence and who you have the potential to become. Now think for a moment. What if you started to look at your body as a sacred book, where every line, every feature, and every proportion carries a hidden teaching? How would your relationship with it change? How would the way you take care of it, listen to its signals, and interpret its limits change? Within your body there are vibrational portals that most people never learn to access. They're not in the shape of your hands or the length of your legs. They're hidden in your organs, in the vital centers that sustain your life and energy every day without you even noticing. And it's there that the next secret lives, the one Thoth left for those who are ready to see beyond form and touch essence. And it's exactly when we go beyond the visible layer of physical form that we begin to touch the true core of the matter. Because what Thoth reveals next is something that completely transforms the way you see your body. Most people believe that organs are just biological mechanisms, gears working silently within the flesh. But for the ancient Hermetic masters, each organ is much more than that. It is a vibrational portal, a direct connection point between your soul and the physical world. The heart is not just a pump that circulates blood. It is the throne of compassion and courage. It beats to the rhythm of your ability to love and to sustain life with generosity. When the heart vibrates in harmony, it radiates balance throughout the body's entire energetic field. But when it holds resentment and fear, it shuts down, and that vibration starts to misalign all the other parts. The lungs, for Hermeticists, are more than air filters. They are portals of inner freedom. They hold within them the flow of acceptance and courage. Every deep inhale is an opportunity to welcome the new. Every exhale, a chance to release what no longer serves. If you feel like your life is suffocating, maybe your lungs are holding more than they should. More sadness, more fear, more resistance. The kidneys, which silently filter the body's impurities, carry another level of spiritual function. They are the guardians of ancestral fear and the will to move forward. According to Thoth, when the kidneys are vibrationally balanced, they strengthen your courage to face the unknown. But when there are blockages, you feel as if your drive to act is drained, paralyzed by insecurity. And the liver, often spiritually overlooked, is seen in Hermeticism as the seat of transformation. It processes, purifies, and recycles everything that comes to you, whether physical or emotional. It transforms excess into balance. But when it's overloaded, anger, frustration, and emotional instability start to overflow. Thoth taught that every weakness in the body is not a punishment, but a sign. Where the organ suffers, there is a lesson that hasn't yet been integrated, a virtue that hasn't yet been awakened. That's why, when you face pain or illness in certain areas of your body, what's happening there isn't just a physical imbalance. It's a vibrational calling, an invitation to look within and ask, what haven't I learned yet in this area of my life? And this isn't about guilt. It's not about blaming yourself for your pain, but about taking vibrational responsibility for it. Because if the soul chose this body, it also knew that these portals would be the places where it would need to work most deeply. But Thoth went even further. He revealed that these portals don't work alone. They don't open or close only because of physical factors. There's something invisible that activates or blocks these vibrational centers. Something most people ignore that is acting on you every day without you realizing it. And that's what we need to talk about now. Because these invisible forces aren't outside of you. They're born within, at an even deeper level. And until you understand how they work, you'll keep struggling against your own body without realizing that the key was in the closest place of all. Your emotions reveal what your soul came to heal. This is exactly where emotions come in, because Thoth made it very clear they are what turn the key to those inner portals. What opens or closes your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, isn't just what happens outside, it's what you feel inside. Emotion isn't weakness, as many believe. Emotion is condensed vibration, energy in motion. And every emotion carries a specific frequency that either resonates in harmony or disharmony with your soul. When you feel fear, for example, that vibration doesn't just stay in your mind. It moves down, flows through your energetic field, and directly affects your kidneys, your stomach, your solar plexus. And if you don't release that fear, it starts to crystallize in those organs, affecting both your energy and your physical functioning. Now think of the opposite. When you feel courage, confidence, and surrender, the vibration of these centers changes completely. They stop operating in defense mode and begin to vibrate in expansion. And this applies to all emotions. The anger you hold in, the sadness you suppress, the joy you don't allow to flow, none of that just disappears on its own. These emotions build up as vibrational charges, creating blockages or openings in your inner portals. That's why Thoth said, pay attention to what you feel, because what you feel is what you are vibrating. And what you are vibrating creates the field where your life unfolds. Emotions are not a problem to be eliminated. They are compasses pointing to where your soul is still out of balance. If sadness keeps returning to you, it's because there's something inside your soul that still hasn't been embraced. If anger explodes uncontrollably, it's because there is still a dormant virtue waiting to be awakened, maybe patience, maybe discernment, maybe compassion. And the same goes for fear, anxiety, pride, and guilt. Every difficult emotion is an invitation, not a sentence. But notice, Thoth never said to suppress your emotions or pretend they don't exist. On the contrary, he said the first step to transmute any vibration is to recognize where it is, to feel without judgment, to observe without rejection. Because what you reject hides, and what hides cannot be healed. Only when you allow the emotion to come to the surface, without identifying with it, does it begin to lose control over you. And here is the fifth key. The emotions that repeat most often in your life are not there by chance. They are vibrational signals your soul chose to experience until you integrate the lesson hidden within them. As long as you ignore these signals, they return. As long as you fight them, they grow. But when you finally listen to what they have to say, the vibration rises. And as your vibration rises, you begin to open the inner portals that were closed, allowing vital energy to flow freely. Now that you know this, the next step is to learn how to activate your body not just as a set of working organs, but as a living temple, a conscious vibrational space where emotions stop being prisons and become sources of expansion. Because it's exactly at this point that real transformation begins. This is the point where Thoth calls us to practice, because it's not enough to understand what's happening inside the body and soul. Knowledge without practice is like a flame without air. It dies out before it can light anything. Thoth never taught just contemplation, nor did he say to sit and wait for answers from above. He always spoke of vibrational action, of simple but deep practices that make your soul and body vibrate together in the same field of light. And the first of these practices starts where everything is anchored, at the vital center the Egyptians called the Jed. Located in the lower abdomen, just below the navel, this is the point where vital energy is stored and circulated. When this center is activated, your whole body gains stability, focus, and vitality. But when it's dormant, the mind becomes scattered, the body weakens, and emotions spin out of control. The practice begins with something simple that few people do consciously: breathing. But not just any breathing. It's slow, deep breathing directed to the abdomen. You inhale and draw the air down to the point below your navel. Feel your belly expand effortlessly, and as you exhale, you relax your whole body. It's not about forcing anything, but about letting energy move to where it was meant to be from the beginning. While breathing this way, Thoth taught that you should quiet the mind, not by fighting thoughts, but by watching them pass, like clouds in the sky. Because when the mind quiets, the soul finally has space to manifest in the body. It's in this silence that the energy of the Jed starts to pulse more clearly, more strongly, more steadily. And here comes another aspect that few know: energetic self-massage. Thoth and the Taoist masters of his time understood that conscious touch awakens dormant virtues in the organs. With your palms warmed by the heat of your hands, gently massage the chest, where the heart is, sending it intentions of compassion and courage. Massage your abdomen, awakening serenity and trust in your stomach. And move through the sides of your torso, where your lungs are, releasing any sadness or tension that may have built up there. This practice doesn't need to be long, but it must be done with presence. It's intention and attention that move energy. As you do it, feel that every part of your body is being reactivated, not just physically, but vibrationally, as if you're waking up an entire city that had been asleep inside you. And here is the sixth key: your body was designed to be a living temple. But this temple needs to be cared for, activated, honored every day. Through breath, silence, and conscious touch, you allow the soul's energy to flow without blockages. And that's how true vibrational alignment between body and spirit begins. But there's still a question that refuses to go away. If the body can vibrate light, then why did the soul choose such specific limitations? Why didn't it choose a perfect body, free of flaws and challenges? That choice has a much deeper reason. And to understand that reason, we need to look more deeply into what the soul saw in the Hall of the Two Truths when it decided to come down into matter. Your ordinary life is your spiritual practice. And it was by looking at this choice of the soul that everything starts to make sense. Because Thoth said that where matter presents weakness, there the spirit has an opportunity to awaken strength. Your soul didn't choose limitations by accident. It knew exactly where you would need to be pushed to grow. Because true expansion doesn't happen where everything is easy, but where there is resistance. When you encounter a limitation in your body, whether physical, emotional, or mental, it's not there to sabotage you. It's there to force you to access a level of consciousness that, without that challenge, you might never seek. Imagine someone born with a naturally strong body. They may rely on that physical strength their whole life without ever developing patience, empathy, or humility. But someone born with physical fragility, out of necessity, is forced to cultivate emotional intelligence, resilience, and spiritual connection. Limitations force you to look inward. When everything is going well, few people seek depth. But when the body hurts, when emotions are heavy, when the mind becomes a maze, that's when the search begins. And Thoth said the search is the portal to vibrational awakening. The soul isn't interested in comfort. It's interested in expanding your frequency. That's why where there is fear, there is a chance to awaken courage. Where there is insecurity, there is an opportunity to cultivate inner faith. Where there is anger, the path of compassion is hidden. And where there is deep sadness, lies the portal of acceptance and gratitude. Every limitation is a vibrational invitation to transmute what is out of harmony. The seventh key is here. Your soul chose weaknesses not to weaken you, but to expand you. They force you to go beyond what you would do on your own. And when you stop fighting those limitations and start asking what you can learn from them, everything changes. You are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become their alchemist. But this doesn't happen only in the big moments of life. Thoth taught that true expansion doesn't happen in grand rituals, but in what you do every day, when no one is watching. It's in the simplicity of everyday life that the soul finds its most powerful field of practice. Because daily life, with all its repetitions, tasks, and relationships, is not a distraction from the spiritual path. It is the spiritual path. Every breath you take with awareness, every meal you eat with gratitude, every movement you make with presence, all of that becomes a vibrational act. And when done with intention, it transforms your entire body into a living temple. Hermeticism teaches that true spirituality is not lived apart from the world, but manifested within it. There's no point in running away from matter, isolating yourself in mountains or temples, and abandoning the body as if it were an enemy. The true spiritual practice is to be present in the here and now, using the body, emotions, and mind as instruments for your soul to manifest. That means your everyday life, no matter how simple it seems, is the laboratory where your soul does its work. It's in family relationships, in your job, in traffic, in hard conversations, in food choices, in how you care for your sleep and inner silence. That's where the soul's vibrational field expands or contracts. Every choice, no matter how small, creates an energetic impact. The eighth key is here. Real spirituality is lived in the body. It's not outside of it. It's not an escape from matter, but an integration with it. It's turning your routine into an act of awareness, where every step, every breath, every word has a vibrational purpose. Because only then does your body stop being a burden and become a conscious channel for the light you carry within. But Thoth went even further. He said the soul didn't come to earth to escape matter, as many believe. It came to illuminate the physical world. And now the time has come to understand why that changes everything about how you live your life here. The sacred pact between the soul and the body. For centuries, people were taught that the body was a prison, a punishment, a burden the soul had to endure. But Thoth said the opposite. He revealed that matter, even though it is dense, is sacred, because it is through it that consciousness can fully manifest. The physical world is not the end of the spiritual journey, but the stage where that journey takes concrete form. The soul didn't come to earth to escape physical life. It came to transform instinct into consciousness, automatism into intention, survival into conscious creation. The body, with all its limitations and possibilities, is the channel through which this inner light shines into the outer world. Just as a lamp has no meaning without energy flowing through it, the body has no purpose without the soul that animates it. But the soul also cannot shine in the physical world without the body that sustains it. And here is the ninth key. Your body is the channel, the bridge, the instrument chosen by the soul to carry out its mission in the material plane. Every gesture you make with intention, every word you speak with clarity, every action you take in alignment with the truth of your being. All of it allows your soul's light to manifest where before there was only unconscious instinct. That's why escaping from matter is not spiritual evolution. Rejecting the body, despising the physical world, or hiding from daily life doesn't elevate anyone. Thoth said that the true master is not the one who escapes the world, but the one who fully inhabits matter and transforms it with their consciousness. The body is not an obstacle. It is the stage where the soul carries out its work. But there's a challenge in this, because living at this level of vibrational awareness is not easy. there are internal and external forces that try to pull you back into autopilot. There are distractions, fears, old emotional and mental patterns that try to disconnect you from your vibrational mission. And protecting that frequency is the next step in your journey. Something we will explore in depth in the next video, because without that protection, even the most awakened soul can be pulled back into unconsciousness. But before we go there, the deepest pact of all still needs to be revealed. The one that was made long before your birth, when your soul and your body decided to walk this journey together. Because at the center of all this, there is a sacred pact, a silent agreement made at the moment of choice. Your soul knew that this body, with all its strengths and weaknesses, would be the only vehicle capable of taking it to the next level of consciousness. There is no other body more suitable, more perfect, or more effective for your evolution than the one you have right now. It is not the body idealized by outside standards. It is the real body, the one that faithfully expresses what your soul needed in this moment of eternity. If you've made it this far, it's not by accident. Write this in the comments. I accept the body my soul chose. When you write it, you activate this pact in your vibrational field, and you also inspire others to do the same. Oh, and if you'd like to help this channel spread these messages around the world, there's a special link in the first pinned comment where you can contribute and support the creation of content like this. Every bit of support makes a difference. And before you go, I've picked out a special video that will take this knowledge even deeper. It's showing up on the screen now. Click there so we can meet and continue this journey together.